Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be reviewing, demoing, and doing a wear test on the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is what the cardboard looks like. This is what the actual packaging looks like. And the shade that I have is 7.75, which I have to say I love the shade. I feel like it is a perfect match for me. And I have it on. I have just very basic makeup on, but if you guys want to see what my thoughts are, how this wears, then let's go. Alright guys, so today we are going to be trying the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and the shade I have is 7.75. To prime my face, I use the Urban Decay All Nighter, and it's hot, so makeup will be minimal today. I'm going to use my Mario and Sephora foundation brush, and I just took 2 pumps. Don't mind the redness. My husband and I started working out, and we just finished our workout. I took a quick shower and I'm still hot, so I think I might need to use a sponge like the Juno & Co. just from what I'm seeing already, because this is like wiping away the product. It gave me some coverage. I like the way that it's looking. There's just a few things happening. 1, I'm still sweating. 2, I want to say that it's the way that I'm applying it. So I'm just going to take what's on my brush, do my forehead, and then get a sponge and build the coverage up here, which is where I typically want more coverage. But because it's so hot, I don't want to add a ton of makeup because we're going to be outside. It's my dad's birthday. It's the 4th of July today, and it's my dad's birthday, so we're going to have a little outdoor gathering. So far, what I've applied is 4 pumps, and again, I really think that the problem is not so much the foundation and the coverage as it is how I'm applying it. So I'm going to go get a sponge. Alright guys, so I'm taking my Juno & Co sponge. I've already blended that side out, and it is helping build the coverage. This is definitely more of a natural foundation. It's not going to give you a ton of coverage. I'm just going to take a little bit more on my sponge just to build around this cheek area, which tends to be my problem. Yeah, the sponge definitely does a better job at building. Like, it's really just working the product into the skin versus removing it. Okay, so I like the way that this looks. I am going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, which again, it's going to be very minimal because we're going to be outside. It's going to be hot. It's 90 degrees in Chicago, and it's hot, and I sweat a lot from my face. I don't want to have a ton of makeup on. But so far, I will tell you guys, I do like the way it looks. It looks very natural. I think this would be a good foundation for days where you just want a little bit of coverage and you just want to look like you have pretty even skin. So I'm using my Boing Concealer by Benefit. I was just going to opt out of filming my skin routine, but I really just want to give you guys the rundown on what I'm using. So I definitely use too much concealer. What a surprise, right? But this, because this is not a full coverage foundation, I could see that my dark circles were beyond visible. All right guys, it is now 1:52. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's 1:52, and I used 2 setting sprays today. I used my All Nighter by Urban Decay, and then I ended up going in with my Hourglass setting spray, which I put back and I don't want to get up and get it. On my cheeks, I used my Fenty Cream blush, and I used it in the shade Rose Latte. And I also used a little bit of bronzer, so I look super dewy, and that has a lot to do with the fact that I use the Hourglass setting spray, because that does make me look dewy. So what I like to do is take a little bit of a powder. So I'm gonna take this puff, which I know has powder, and just hit my T-zone because I like to control the glow. But I have to say, overall, I do like the way that this foundation looks. I feel like it looks very natural. I love the shade match. I feel like it's a perfect match for me. And we'll see how it wears. So again, it's now 1:54. And this is my makeup for today. I'm probably gonna throw on like a quick lip balm or something, but it's hot. And I still need to let my hair dry and get dressed. So for now, this is what we are looking like. I really like the way that this is looking so far. We'll see how it wears. I'll try and do a few check-ins throughout the day, but if you guys want to see what I think about this foundation and how it wears, then let's go. All right, guys, it is now 8 o'clock and it's the only check-in that I did, so I apologize because you're gonna hear fireworks. It's the 4th of July. And I was just so caught up in my dad's birthday and the barbecue and family games that honestly, like, I didn't check in at all. So let's talk specs. This foundation retails for $64 and it is 1 fluid ounce. This is a medium coverage foundation. That is what it's described as. And it's oil-free, which that explains why it wore so well. And it is described to have a natural finish, which I totally agree with that. This foundation, I have to say, has pleasantly surprised me because I didn't want to wear something that was like super full coverage or anything that would look heavy on my skin or feel heavy on my skin because, like I said earlier, it is really hot in Chicago. I bought the shade 7.75, which is described to be tan with neutral undertone. I definitely agree with that. I do have a little bit of a tan. I think that if it was winter when I was buying this, I probably would go with 1 shade lighter. I love the way it looks. I love the way that my foundation has worn. In all fairness, like my nose here, the sides of my nose, a little bit on this side, my foundation has worn out some. You can kind of see that just around my nose, but again, I had sunglasses on, it was hot. It does look a little bunched up here on the sides of my nose, but again, I feel like that's all due to the weather versus the foundation. I think that under less humid circumstances, less perspiration, I think that this foundation would actually wear beautifully. And I love how natural it looks. It's very lightweight. It does not feel or look heavy by any means. And I would say that this is probably one of the more natural looking foundations that I own. I needed to pull my hair back. It was driving me nuts. What I will tell you is, like, in areas that my sunglasses didn't touch, my cheeks, my forehead, these areas look beautiful. They still have coverage. As you guys can see, my blush and bronzer is still on. This little center area here is just the problem. I was eating, I was drinking, I was sweating, I had sunglasses on, so all of these things have contributed to the loss of product around this little area here. Overall, I would say this is such a beautiful foundation. I know that a lot of people love it. It has over 3,000 reviews on Sephora and it has almost a 5-star rating, so it's loved. And I have heard about this foundation time and time again, but you guys know that I'm a full coverage girl. I love my coverage, but I'm also somebody that appreciates a medium coverage. So medium to full is my jam. And I think what kind of made me a little reluctant to try it earlier on was the fact that oftentimes when people say that their product is medium to full or just a solid medium coverage, it's not. It's not. In my experience, what I've seen is that it is light to medium and you really can't build it up. Again, I don't mind a sheer coverage, but I do like a little bit more coverage on my cheeks because those tend to be the areas where I have hyperpigmentation and sun damage. I am so impressed with this foundation. I highly recommend it. If you are on the fence about trying it, try it. I think you're gonna really love it and appreciate the coverage. Again, if you are someone who is similar in skin tone, I think that this match for me was perfect. It was not darker, and I tend to like my foundations to be slightly darker, but this was a perfect match for me. I absolutely love it, and I can appreciate the fact that it doesn't look like I have on a ton of makeup. Under less humid temperature, I probably wouldn't set it with a powder, but because I knew that I was going to be outside, I knew that it was going to be hot, I knew that it was going to probably melt off my face, I wanted to be fair and treat it the way I would any other foundation. So I did powder, I did set it with a spray, I did set it again with a little bit of powder, and I took every step I would with any other foundation. So overall, I would have to say that I really love this, and that's all I have to say. I wanted to mention one other thing. This foundation has so many options, and it was a little tricky to figure out what my match was. I did use a Sephora shade match finder because I wanted to see what it would match me to, but I will tell you guys that initially I knew that I would get 7.75 because I was at a store once and I did swatch it and I felt like 7.75 was a pretty good match for me. This foundation has 42 shades, and I was actually getting a match of 7.8, which again would be just slightly lighter, and I feel like I do again have a little bit of a tan, so 7.75 is a perfect match for me right now. But if I had to pick something, I would probably go with a 7.5. So really I could wear anything from a 7.5 to an 8. So there are 3 shade options for me. 7.75 would give me just a little bit more of a darker finish, not significantly darker, but it would just be a little bit of a boost, which I like. 7.5 would probably be my exact match, which if you guys have seen other foundation reviews for me, I tend to not like them because I feel like I want to look a little darker. And then 8 would be like a full-blown I have a tan going on. I really do like this foundation, and I appreciate that they have so many options. And the other thing too is that on Sephora's website you can get mini sizes of it to try. So the mini version will run you $42, and it is 0.6 ounces, whereas you're paying $64 for a fluid ounce. So it's not a bad deal. I would like to see an expansion in their darker shades. I feel like they have, and even their lighter shades, to be honest with you guys, because I don't know if you guys can see, this would be like their lighter shades, medium, tan, and then your dark shades. And I feel like there's room to build your lighter shades, and there's definitely room to build your deeper shades. So I would say maybe like the two middle arms there, those are your medium categories, and they have those pretty covered. I'd like to see an additional arm for the lighter shades and for the darker shades. So really there should be 6 arms on the screen, but I think it's a beautiful start. I know that this foundation has been around for a really long time, but I think that in the time that we are living now, I think that there is a lot of information and communication between brands and their customers, and I'd like to see an expansion. So overall, I think that they have done a great job of trying to cover everybody, but again, there's always room to improve and grow. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Please be sure to subscribe, leave a comment down below letting me know if you've tried this foundation and what your overall impression is, and also like this video. Like I said before, you liking this video really helps support my channel, and I'd like to reach a larger audience and grow. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.